Assalamu alaikum students, it's lecture number 35. The videos for grade 5 topic is unit 3 lesson 2 our carbon footprint. So in the previous lecture of this Cambridge Global English book, we did this unit 2 our carbon footprint from learner's book. So in today's class we'll work on the activity book and two points from learner's book as well. So today we're going to work on both learners and activity book. So let's move forward. Okay, so it's lesson 2 our carbon footprints. Before moving towards the learner's book and activity book, I just want to tell you something. There's a concept that will you need to understand because it will help you in the book learner's book. Okay, so there's a concept subordinate clause. So what actually a subordinate clause is? A subordinate clause is a clause that cannot stand alone. It is not independent. Remember that an independent clause has a subject and a verb and expresses a complete thought. It's written a subordinate clause has a subject and a verb, but it cannot stand alone. It does not express a complete thought. So basically subordinate clause, it needs another clause to expressed a complete thought. So it's a dependent clause. We also say it dependent clause. So it every complete sentence have a subject and a verb and it expresses a complete thought. But in case of subordinate clause, it has subject, it has verb, but it cannot stand alone. It does not express a complete thought. Another word for subordinate is dependent. Sometimes you will hear these clauses called dependent clauses. Fine, as I told you. So examples of subordinate clauses are because I said so. I is a subject, said is verb, but there is no sense of this sentence because I said so. What you said. Fine. So there's not a complete thought. There's no complete thing. We cannot understand what it's talking about. So when I was 5, then what? Fine. So it's not complete again, but it has subject and it has verb. I is a subject, was is a verb. Fine. So subordinate clauses, they have subjects, they have verbs, but they are not complete sentences. They have no complete idea or thought. So they are dependent. Since it will rain today, it is a subject and will rain is a verb. Who is my best friend? Who is, remember, it's not a question over here. Fine. It's a clause that who is my best friend. That man works very well. Okay, so if I say a sentence like the boy who is my best friend will come tonight. So now it's a complete sentence. Who is my best friend is a subordinate clause in it. Fine. So this way, it's not a question over here. It's a clause over here. The boy who is my best friend will attend the party today. Now, this is a complete sentence. A complete thought is there that the boy who is my best friend will attend the party today. But if I say who is my best friend, then what? It's not complete. If you pass the test, it's again a subordinate clause. If you passed a test, then what? Fine. So subordinate clauses, they do not give a complete sense. They're just incomplete. They're just dependent clauses. So you is subject and pass is verb. So you can see that subordinate clauses, they do have verbs, they do have subjects, but they have no any sense. Okay, so now subordinate versus independent clause. So this now here you can see the difference. When I get to the beach, it's a subordinate clause. Then what you will do? Fine. So there's no complete sense. It's just written when I get to the beach. It's subordinate clause. Now the second one is independent clause, complete sentence that has proper sense. The chair is too small for me. Fine. So idea is complete, thought is complete, the sentence is complete. This type of sentences are called independent clauses, and the upper one is subordinate. So this is a difference between independent and dependent clause. So this is what a subordinate clause is. So let's see what's written over here. What is a subordinate clause? A subordinate clause does not express a complete thought. It cannot stand alone. It also known as dependent clause. It depends on the rest of the sentence to support it. Fine, I hope you understand this now. Now here's an example of subordinate clause. Subordinate clause are used to add more information to the sentence. Fine. So they are also used to add more information to the sentence. Like if I again tell you the example that I told you later, that I told you before actually. So it was the boy who is my best friend will attend the party. So who is my best friend is an additional information that boy is my best friend. You can also say a boy will attend the party today. So if I say a boy who is my best friend will attend the party today, so best friend is adding more information. Subordinate clause and main clause. Although I was scared, I crept inside. So it's adding more information. The boy who is 10 jumped. We can also say the boy jumped, but the boy who was 10, it's adding more information about the boy. The boy who was 10 jumped. So here who was 10 is a subordinate clause, and although I was scared is also a subordinate clause. Okay, so now let's move towards the learner's book. Okay, so on learner's book, here's a language detective. It's written use of English subordinate clauses. These are parts of sentences which need to be connected to the main part to make sense. Scientists believe that this is responsible for rising temperatures on Earth. So scientists believe is an additional information. It's a subordinate clause. Scientists believe what? So if I just write scientist believes, then it will not make any sense. So it needs to be connected to the main part of the sentence, which is that this is responsible for rising temperatures on Earth. Fine. So this is what a subordinate clause is. So now it's written match the main clauses to the correct subordinate clause. Subordinate clauses are I think, I know, I hope, I believe. So I think, what do you think? Which will go with I think? Trees absorb CO2. Fine. That we should all ride our bikes to school. Fine. That my generation will reduce global warming. So here it's what? That the glacier don't melt. Fine. So just see with which which subordinate clause will go with the main clauses. So just see which sentence with which sentence I think is appropriate, with which sentence I know is appropriate, with which sentence I hope is appropriate, and with which sentence I believe is appropriate. Just match these and then send the picture. Then comes discuss how energy is used at your school. Make a list like copiers, heating, like AC, fans, etc. So you have to make a list of things that use energy in your school. and then you have to suggest ways in which your school can reduce its carbon footprint. So we believe that, or we think that. So you have to write a paragraph. First of all, you have to make a list of things that you think that the school your school is how your school is using energy, with which things, like with photocopiers, with heating, fans, and all these things. Make a list of that, and then suggest or give a suggestion about reducing carbon footprint in school. How can your school reduce carbon footprint? Just write some suggestions. Fine. Your opinion. What do you think? What school should do? So this is very interesting. So that's it on Learner's Book, page 39. Now let's move towards the activity book. Okay, so it's written lesson 2, our carbon footprint. It's your page number 30 and 31. You can open in front of you. Tick the strategies that will help you to scan. Okay, so scanning means, I told you that scanning means when we read the information quickly just to get the main idea. So here is a here are main idea. So here are some strategies that will help you to scan, and then when you will use these strategies to read this thing, then you have to tick in this. Okay, read the whole text in detail. Look at the picture to help you. Read the text quickly in order to locate information. So there are different strategies of scanning the text. Sometimes we need to read the whole text in detail if we are just going to get the main idea of the text, and you can also look at the pictures to help you. You can also read the text quickly in just order to get the information, to get the answers to the questions. Fine, we just quickly read to get the answer to the question. So there are different strategies. Okay, so it's written, read the text and find 2 reasons why it's important to plant trees. So you have to read the text which is written over here, 3 facts, and just quickly find 2 reasons why is it important to plant trees. Trees can live for thousands of years. Trees produce oxygen and reduce the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. One large tree can provide a day's oxygen for up to 4 people. So just tell what are the 2 reasons. We have to find 2 reasons why it is important to plant trees. It's easy. Now plant a tree and change the future. It's a paragraph. We need to read it. Okay, so here, why plant trees? Do you know that planting trees is a great way to help the environment? Trees release oxygen into the air, making our air cleaner. So in our countries, people are planting trees. South America. Latin America has the world's largest tropical forest, the Amazon, as I told you. It has 57% of the whole world's forest. Wow. So children at any elementary school in El Trapeche, Argentina, are learning about climate change and energy efficiency and have been planting trees. Since the program was launched in December 2008, 2 lakh trees have been planted in 22 towns across the central province of San Luis. The UK, the Woodland Trust started More Trees. It's a campaign, More Trees, More Good campaign. They want to plant 6 million trees over the next 50 years. Schools and businesses are all helping because they know how important is it to plant more trees. From Bird Changer, it's a name of a person. No. From Bird Changer Primary School helped plant over 50 trees at his school with his friends and teachers. It was great fun planting the trees. We all wore our wellies and good muddy. Okay, so why plant trees? To make homes for animals, to make the countryside look beautiful, to help us make a greener world. So now just see it, a greener world. So now just see, tell the two reasons why is it important to plant trees. Coming to the next page, 31, correct the correct answer. It's the first sentence is, if we plant more trees, there's more carbon dioxide or less carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Just circle the right option. If we plant more trees, there's more carbon dioxide or less carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. If we plant more trees, the air is cleaner. There is less oxygen, which is true. The Amazon is home to half or more than half of the world's forest. Children have planted 20,000 or 200,000 trees in San Luis since 2008. No, enjoyed or didn't enjoy planting the trees at the school. So all these sentences are from this paragraph. So just find out the answers. Just scan this paragraph and just find out the answers. Okay, so the third point is use of English. Underline the subordinate clauses in each sentence. First one has been done. She decided to plant the tree. Now this makes a sense. She decided to plant the trees. But if we just read this, because it would help the environment. It's an additional information because it would help the environment. So this is a subordinate clause because it has it is not expressing the proper thought or main idea. It's just a subordinate clause. The student hope that their campaign will help the environment. Their campaign will help the environment. That is a subordinate clause. Schools and businesses are all helping because they know how important is it to plant more trees. Okay, so make true sentences for you. Use the words in the box. You have to just choose the appropriate words like believe, know, hope, think from the word bank and then just fill them. I dash that we can reduce global warming. Fine. I dash what? I believe that we can reduce global warming. I know that we can reduce global warming. I hope we can reduce global warming, or I think we can reduce global warming. I dash that glaciers are melting. I dash that glaciers are melting. I dash that we should plant more trees. I dash that we should walk and cycle more instead of using vehicles. Using the car. So just choose the words and fill the blanks. So that's all for today. It was some work was on learner's book, some was on activity book. Just fill these exercises on both books and then just send the picture of your work. And yes, that's all for today.